Desiree Cooper is a former attorney, Pulitzer Prize-nominated journalist, and Detroit community activist. Her fiction and poetry have appeared in Callaloo, Detroit Noir, Best African American Fiction 2010, entitled Basin Review, among other online and print journals. Cooper was a founding board member of Cave Canem, a national residency for emerging Black poets. She's the author of the short story collection, Know the Mother.
So my book is called Know the Mother, and it's a collection of flash fiction. Hi, Dan. There's a collection of flash fiction, very, very, very short stories that kind of assume you can figure out what happened first, and then I throw you into situations, and then you take it from there. So if I asked each of you what happened after the story ends, you would all probably have a different story. I'm going to read one that ends in a little bit more certainty than the others. I really have to thank Literati because they are such amazing supporters of the literary community, and if there's one thing I know, this is a job that you do because you love it, not because of money or fame or anything. It's just like you just have to. And Literati understands that and brings the voices to the community. And I also know that they take very good care of their employees. And there's someone here from, have you guys ever heard of BINC?
I have.
Yeah. Tell us what that stands for, KB. KB, what does that stand for?
The Book Industry Charitable Foundation.
So that's actually a foundation, Literati is a part of it, that takes care of people who sell books. Because they're also not compensated very well for what they do. They do it for the love. And should they run into a problem, a house fire, a lost job, whatever, a bookstore is having problems and they're not getting paid, BINC actually gives grants to individual people who sell books. What? I mean, that's amazing. And the book industry gives money into BINC. So KB, my friend Kathy Bartson, works with BINC. And if you guys want to write a check, fine. And then Dan in the back supports emerging writers. And he does a fantastic blog, and I will say he was one of the first people that started telling other people that my book, you might want to just pick it up. It may not be there for you, but at least pick it up and see what you think. So I deeply appreciate all that too. All right, so now I've rattled around and spent my whole time. So how many of you guys have flying dreams about flying? I was in a group of writers and they all raised their hand, and now I'm in a group of people who don't necessarily write. You're all raising your hands. I can't believe this. So are the dreams good? Raise your hands. Like, have fun? Oh, so it's not a nightmare. All right, so this is my version of it. I'm like, I walk outside and the moon is so beautiful and I just kind of go like this and suddenly I'm aloft. Does anybody have like a version like that? You do. Tell me a little bit about it. I promise not to ramble on too much.
When the movie, the dragon, the floating dragon, something
Yeah.
like that, I felt like they stole that thought from me.
Right. Because they can
Usually
just
in
go in the
forest.
air just like at will. That's my dream. All right, so I wanted to capture that in a very short story. So this is my way to talk about that. It's called, I'll talk about the rest of you all, about your dreams. It's about $150 an hour. Okay. All right, this is called Soft Landing. One night as I lay awake in the sweltering darkness, the stars called me back to the beginning. I went outside and gazed skyward where Orion hung low in the Milky Way and dangled within reach. A current of evolution stirred. Suddenly, I was certain of my fetal wings. Pressing my bare soles against the damp ground, I angled my crooked spine and pushed up on swollen knees. I was aloft. I should have been ashamed, a tiny woman of a certain age, allowing the world to see her nethers as she soared toward the antique moon. But no. The thrill of the evening breeze lifting my thin gown only made me laugh. My center of gravity shifted. The years molted away like useless feathers. Circling over all that I knew, I saw the sorrows and joys blinking below me like runway lights. My slack biceps became an aileron, my calcified trunk a fuselage. The air rushed over the hump of my back, creating lift, the vertigo of natural forces, the glide of ancient impulses. It was as easy as dreaming. Night after night, I took to the air. Sometimes I could sense a ripple in the currents, the way a familiar room feels after a stranger has lingered. But then I knew I was a part of an invisible flock. There were others who had remembered the time before time when we all had wings. Part 2. The gate for my plane was at the end of Concourse B. I made my way slowly on thick Birkenstocks, bewildered by all the rushing to nowhere. A horde of travelers parted around me, a stream flowing around a heavy stone. I arrived at my gate 45 minutes to spare. Resting in the boarding area, I picked them out easily. The splotched man with goggled-like glasses who wouldn't stop tilting his face toward the sun. The woman wearing a billowy blue muumuu, that flaps beneath her arms. The somber gentleman in a wheelchair with reedy legs and outer eyes. The squat woman with broad shoulders, whose grandchildren ambled behind her in a V. When the plane arrived, these were the people who boarded first, all of us hollow-boned creatures who required extra time. My seatmate was a twitchy man with a sharp nose and eagle-black eyes. As the engines ignited, he gave me a dentured smile. An hour into the flight, I was jostled awake by turbulence. I glanced at the man beside me, resisting the urge to grab his hand. It was then that I noticed his feet planted on the floor, legs rigid, and I could tell that he was doing the same thing I was doing, pressing his soles against the metal floor, ready to leap. When the engine spit fire over the Rockies, my heart stuttered against my rib cage. Outside of the window, the sun spilled vermilion. Behind us, a plume of dark smoke. Fasten your seatbelts and place your heads down on your knees. Women screamed, men sobbed into their hands. As the plane dove, the cabin walls groaned. Luggage shifted in the holds. Strangers united in prayer. My seatmate, however, was unafraid. Against instructions, we unfastened our seatbelts, knotted our hands together, and waited. 200 bodies thundered into the sky. The air snatched our voices. People fell like rain. But those of us who remembered threw open our arms and flew.